Good day, friends. The Republic of Yemen has always been in the media. Of course, not for the good reason. There has always been war among themselves. What in literature we call internecine wars or civil wars. Here, it is not between just two sects, so many sects are involved. Saudi Arabia supports and arms the Yemeni Sunni sect, and Iran supports and arms the Shiite Houthis. If these two groups alone are involved, okay, but more than that, there are other groups, the most well known Al Qaeda and ISIS. This ISIS wants to create caliphate, and Islamic Al Qaeda wants to establish its hold. In fact, they are shipping, fishing in the troubled waters. Quite naturally, the superpowers, I need not mention the names, they are also involved in the war. And thus, the ultimate sufferers are the Yemenis. What is going on in Yemen is a proxy war. Unless the people of Yemen realize it, there is no future for their country. And the history of Yemen, whether it is the past or the present, is bewilderingly complex. As a middle aged man, I wanted to go around the world. I actually started with Yemen, which is not a developed country. For that particular reason, I wanted to choose that. For a few months, I wanted to see that country. People may wonder, how is it that instead of going to a highly developed, advanced country, I went in for a country like Yemen? Of course, okay, every country has got its own importance. In this particular snap, you see a college. It is actually a college of education in the northern part of Yemen, Sada Governorate, bordering Saudi Arabia. They have just started this college and they intend to expand it still further. This goes to prove that the people of Yemen want to come to the modern world with English. Here you see a view of Sada, old part of the town, the mud walls of Sada. In this Sada governorate, you come across houses made of mud, a special kind of mud. And much later, in the later years, I had been to many countries of the world, but nowhere else I have seen houses like this. This is in Sada. And in that college, or what they call Kulia Al Tarbiya, College of Education, we have work professors from various countries of the world, Syria, Palestine, Egypt, and other countries. This actually creates a kind of friendship among the countries of the world. One important feature, or rather lifestyle of the people of Yemen, is chewing khat. Khat is a mild narcotic leaf available everywhere throughout Yemen. And these people get bundles of it, keep the corners, keep them in the mouth. That's why you have got a bulging cheek. At the first instance, you may think that so and so is having some tooth problem. No, no, it is not a tooth problem. He is having chewing cough. Slowly, the juice gets into the saliva. It is a mild narcotic. I asked one person, he said, of course, it is very nice to very pleasant to have it. But once you stop doing it, for a few days you feel a little bad, but later you become all right. And somehow, almost everyone I have seen during my tourist trip, people chewing this kath. In English, they put the spelling QAT. In cities and towns of the world, you have got bazaars, marketplaces, where they sell vegetables and other trinkets, items of fancy value. But here, I was surprised in particular market, people selling guns and small pistols of various sizes, just like that. They are selling. It is really surprising. Maybe it has got something to do with their martial tradition. That's what I was told. In the past, everyone used to have a knife, which they call a Zambia, in their hip. And then over that, they put the belt. Now, instead of Zambia, or besides the Zambia, sometimes they carry this gun. In one particular village, I saw some people, everyone carrying a gun. I don't understand why they should carry guns. When I think of Yemen, where I had been in some time in 1977 or so, roaming about as a tourist, I found in Sada and other places these mud walls, as I said before. But at the same time, you have small flats like this where expatriate workers are accommodated. So, flat system has come quite naturally to accommodate visitors, and small hotels have also come up in this way. So the mud walls, they are traditional, conservative, and local Yemeni people, they stay there in the outlying regions of the capital. Once I was on a visit to a flat to see somebody known to my tourist guide. From the balcony, I was able to see some small children playing on the lane. I was at once reminded of the scenes in our own Tamil Nadu towns and villages where children play on the street, especially when there is no traffic. In those days, there was less traffic in Tamil Nadu or everywhere, but now there is traffic. And in the absence of a good playground, they play cricket, for example, or some other game. So, children playing on the streets is a sight that is very much familiar to me, that brought to my mind Indian scenes. This is a mosque in Sada. This particular snap is not taken by me. I was a little scared, taking snaps of certain places, especially mosques and others, because Yemen is not a liberal country like Europe. And if I take a picture of this building or that building, I must be very careful. So this I did not take. I took it, of course, from some book. That is the birthplace of the Yemeni Zaidi sect. And one friend told me that he would take inside the mosque one of the days I was staying there. But of course, that day did not come. And this is near Sada. There are some old houses. They are mud houses. These mud houses are encircled by a wall, or rather, I could say, a wall circles around the mud houses. Once or twice, I used to walk around the wall, standing on the wall, and I was able to see the mud houses in the midst. Once the tourist guide came along with me, and on another day, I myself went and saw the place. Now, of course, that town has grown beyond the wall. One other place of tourist importance in Sada is Sinara. It is a fort, and I don't know how it is now with in the war. When I was on a trip to Yemen from Sada, near on the way, once I was on my way to Sana. In Sana, the capital, there are quite a lot of places around. One such place is a village. You may just wonder what is there about the village. Al Hajra village. To enter the village, you need to get a ticket. Yes, it is worth it. And in the village, you have got the mountain cliffs. On the mountain cliffs, so many houses have been built, 3 to 4 floors. I just wonder how, even in those days, they could raise tall buildings on the mountain cliffs. Here also, when I think of them, I just wonder if these buildings are destroyed in the war, God forbid such a thing should happen, you can't recreate them. Any building, a big town can be erased, but this particular place, I don't know. God forbid such a thing should happen. And when I was going around the village, quite a lot of elders were there, sitting here and there. And I wanted to have a snap of myself standing along with them. They were very happy. Many of them were senior people. There were 2 or 3 children. So they stood with me and I took a snap of it. In fact, in my Yemeni tour, this particular snap is my prized possession. When I was moving around Yemen, in one particular place, I saw one man plowing the land. Of course, it is nothing unusual. Even then, I just stood there and watched him plowing the field. I was surprised. It was actually a donkey, or it might even be a mule. So I went near and saw it. In our place, I have seen bullocks or even buffaloes used for cultivation, plowing the land. But here, you have got a donkey. So any four-legged animal is good for the task. When I was going around the capital Sana'a, I was astounded at the beauty of the mountain places, or rather, I would say mountain towns, or rather mountain places, because many of the buildings I saw near the Sana'a mountains, they are marvelous. Of course, I took a snap of those places, but I wanted to have those places in clear pictures, and so I have taken these pictures from a picture postcard, because uh, nothing of mine will come anywhere near them for clarity. So these places are really beautiful. They go very well with the mountains. When I look at them, I cannot but marvel at their ancestors. I mean, the ancestors of the present Yemeni people, how well they had carved or rather designed these places. These places are really worth visiting. Another important small town is Thais. In English, they say T-A-I-Z. When I was there in Thais for a day or two, I went to a local market. That local market is just like any bazaar marketplace in a South Indian town or even North Indian town. See, You have got, of course, a car, but the shops and the people moving about just as in our uh, towns. Sometimes I feel, or not sometimes, so many times I have felt that I was in India. But the only difference is quite a lot of them are Muslims, and women, they're always in their complete dress. One other trip that I marveled at was the bus ride from Sana to Sada, or rather, you can say from Sada to Sana. From Sada to Sana, the capital, the ride, the bus, there is no bus as such, a small car only. The car ride took more than 3 to 4 hours, and the mountain pass is really worth seeing. So many times I have seen foreign tourists, Japanese especially. I mean, that is how they looked, Japanese or Koreans, in their sophisticated cameras. They took video of that place. This is that mountain highway crisscrossing the area. This, of course, is the College of Education, and you have a view of the college from the terrace of the building. These people have the idea to develop the college further. It goes to show their love of learning and their eagerness to come into the modern world. But this war has put an end to their dreams. This one is, is the view of the mud houses as seen from the Sada wall. So many times I wished I could just get down and go into one of the houses to see how the inside of these houses is. But these people are very traditional and conservative, and if only there had been men, I would have done it. But it so happened that during the time, uh, the men were perhaps outside, and it was very difficult to go into that area. My memorable trip was to Eden. To many people, Eden, even the very word Yemen, brings to mind only Eden. Eden played a very important role in the world trade, standing on the seashore and looking at the waters. The history of Eden came to my mind. At one time, Eden was a British protectorate. Quite a lot of Indian soldiers were stationed in Eden. Quite naturally, our soldiers have also constructed a temple. What temple it is, I have no idea, because when I went near the temple, I found that it was locked. And I was told that one person in charge of the temple used to come only uh, in the evening, only once in a day. And the time when I went was not appropriate. I mean, rather, was not suited for his coming. But otherwise, this Eden brought to my mind not just the history of Yemen, but the history of commerce and trade in the Middle East and Asia. Now, what is going on in Yemen? What is the relevance of this video now? In Yemen, there is a tug of conflict between the Houthis, who have the backing of Iran, and the government coalition, who have got the backing of Saudi Arabia and the Western powers. The Houthis have control over the western parts of Yemen and the strategically important Bab el Mandeb. And The Houthis are angered by the Israeli war on Gaza. Hence, they waylay ships passing through the Red Sea and attack UK and US ships. In turn, America and Britain, they fly sorties over Yemen and bomb places which they claim, which they say belong to Houthi military establishments. And the war escalates. What will happen tomorrow in the days to come is a cause for worry, not only for the countries in the Middle East, but for people all over the world. Let us pray for peace in the Middle East. Dear friends, thank you for having listened to me. I have just given you a picture of Yemen only to say how this war has ravaged, destroyed, annihilated. I don't know what word to use. This otherwise peaceful Yemen. Near Yemen, there is an island called Sarakota, and I am told that it has got some importance with precious medicinal herbs. And the architecture of Yemen is a wonder of engineering marvel. Thank you.